Good. I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 30th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. If everyone would please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is our Vice President, Gary Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis and our County Administrator, Farzan Ahmed. And today's clerk is Jennifer Walraven. So we can begin.
Resolution number 17-1140, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held October 26, 2017, and special meeting held October 26, 2017.
That's so moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Third on motion 17-1140. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment at this time. Resolution number 17-1141, in the matter of approving the purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 1027 and memo transfers in batch number 1027.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1141. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1142, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1142. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1143, in the matter of accepting the Treasurer's report for the month of September 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1143. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1144, in the matter of approving banking institutions for designation of public depositories of active funds money.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
John Peterson, County Treasurer. As you know, every 4 years we work together to approve public depositories. We have done that. I've recommended to you 6 in a letter dated last week. We only use 2 public depositories, Star Ohio, which is authorized under other statutory authority, and the First Commonwealth Bank. But this approval would designate additional depositories that would be available to us should the need arise.
Okay. All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1144. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Very good. Thanks, Jim.
Resolution number 17-1145, in the matter of approving consulting services contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Fitch & Associates, LLC, for the Delaware County Emergency Services Master Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Schuling, Chief of EMS. In the EMS department, we've always had a strong commitment to the citizens to provide a strong EMS service. We've first established that through our CAS accreditation. That's been almost 6 years ago now. The second way we would like to do this is through this evaluation that will be all-encompassing of our department, our services that are rendered, in establishing a long-term commitment in service to our county. We went through the RFP process where we received several RFP proposals from different agencies and firms. The best and the lowest as well has been J. Fitch & Associates. Mr. Fitch has had a long-standing recognition of being one of the best in this business. The uniqueness of what our department offers is, while it's somewhat unique to Ohio, it's not unique to the United States. J. Fitch has proven himself to have probably the highest level of service to large departments such as ours in establishing these master plans for long service commitments. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this, and would approve, or I would recommend your approval.
I'm curious what timeline on this, Mike?
The timeline, they're saying about 60 to 90 days.
final report to be issued?
Final report beginning to end. Much of it is done, obviously, through documentation in our system. We do a lot of phone conferences, but my understanding in talking with Mr. Fitch is that they hit it really hard and fast. Then they will come and do an on-site review and analysis, interviewing various partnerships throughout the county and other stakeholders. But 90 days is probably on the longer end of getting this done, but I would venture a guess and say probably more closer to 60.
Okay.
With our, to kind of dovetail with that, with our CAS accreditation, a lot of that information, as well as other studies that have been done, that information has been gathered, so that would be relatively easy. Our GIS system in this county, as you're aware, is very strong, so a lot of that plays a very vital role in it.
Chief, who do they interview then in doing this research?
Everybody.
Everybody? Yeah, okay. Like the southern townships too, do they go there? We've got a different model
I am
here.
certain that, again, being that that plays such a vital role in our department and our county, that is going to be part of this study
Okay.
and understanding how we
Sure.
work with them long-term.
Right.
May I add something? I would recommend that when you get started, you put together a stakeholders, a list of stakeholders, and that should include the commissioners as well.
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Do you feel comfortable that this evaluation will be done without prejudice? It will be an honest look at everything without, there's some parochialism, as we know, and that's the function of which chair you're sitting in. So you view that. But I think it's important to be an honest overview.
Yes. Again, one of the large criterion of selection has been looking at just that. Areas such as Pinellas County, Florida, J. Fitch and Associates were very, if you're familiar with that report, that is very closely related to our system, as well as areas such as Kentucky and Tennessee. And I'm sure it will be unbiased.
Is this his primary area of research?
Yes, ma'am. It is their only area of research.
Okay.
Specifically in EMS and fire-based EMS.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other question? Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1145, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Thank you,
All
Commissioner.
right. Thanks, Chief.
Resolution number 17-1146, in the matter of amending child placement service contracts between the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and the providers as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Dombrowski with Job and Family Services. These are two standard child placement contracts. One is for foster care, one is for residential treatment. Both of the young folks who are going to be at each of these facilities are not PORI eligible, so this is 100% local funding. So we're looking for your permission to enter into these contracts.
Are not
Eligible, I guess.
not what eligible? What was
So
the?
the eligibility for 4E is how we get federal reimbursement back
4E.
under Title 4E of the Social
Okay.
Security Act. It's based on a 1996 Aid to Dependent Children standard, so we look at the income of the parents at the time of removal. And then there are some additional factors. Neither of these kids meet that eligibility, so these contracts will be funded fully by local dollars.
Let me ask you, you said the parents don't meet the income threshold, so I'm assuming they're above the threshold?
Yes.
Do we look at them to make the county whole?
No.
Why not?
It's not authorized under rule to have parents offset the cost.
Seems like a reasonable thing to do.
It would seem reasonable, but we have custody of these kids, so they're no longer in the custody of their parents, so we become the responsible party for payments.
What about, I know this is through the end of the year in both cases,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, but what's the future hold?
So most likely for these two, the young man who was at the community teaching homes, that's a foster care provider, was a court-ordered juvenile. He's currently 14 years old. Our sense is we will have him for a while, so we'll probably renew this contract as long as the placement holds. And the young lady who was at Safe House, that's a residential facility. She is 11 years old with substantial issues. We will probably hold custody of her until the age of 18.
I'm just making an editorial comment. Obviously, the county has a responsibility.
Yes.
I think those parents have responsibility too, and shame on them. and we should do everything we can going forward if we can change that in any way. That's just my observation.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1146. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Resolution number 17-1147, in the matter of certification of delinquent accounts to the county auditor for accounts to be assessed to payable year 2018 taxes.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Fromer, sanitary engineer. We have prepared our delinquency for certification. The amount is a little higher than we would normally anticipate. We have a commercial account that's past due about $34,000. There's a little dispute between the contractor and the builder on who's going to be paying that sewer bill. So the number is inflated by about that amount, so.
Okay, so not at risk of collection, just
Right.
which party pays is the issue.
Exactly.
Okay.
So.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1147. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1148, in the matter of approving owner's agreement for Summerwood Lake Section 2.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. This is a standard development agreement for 37 new single-family lots in Summerwood Lakes Section 2, and we recommend approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1148. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1149, in the matter of accepting roads, approving recommended speed limits, establishing stop conditions, and releasing the security for Heathers at Goff Village, Section 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is a 32-lot section of Heathers at Gulf Village. The work was completed last year, has been through the required one-year developer maintenance period, and we've done the final inspection and find that there are no additional repairs needed, and so we are recommending the roads be established and stop conditions and release the maintenance surety.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1149. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1150, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract between the Delaware County Commissioners and Strawers Paving Company for CR 009 TR 127 Liberty Road and Jewett Road intersection project.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
We had a very competitive bid for this job. We received 11 bids for this contract. The low bid came from Strasser Paving Company, about 13% under our engineer's estimate, so that's good news. We have not worked with Strasser as a prime contractor, however, they have done a lot of work for us as a subcontractor in our road improvement program, so we don't have any hesitation to go ahead and recommend award for this contract.
Okay, what kind of timeline on this?
The completion date is August of next summer. They'll get to work probably in May.
So why do you think we got 11 bidders and came in better than we expected?
I think a lot of it is timing. The contractors are trying to lock up their work for next summer, so the timing of this bid was good. We find that we try to bid as much of our work early for the next year as possible. Sometimes we're able to do that, sometimes we aren't, but I think that's really what drove this contract.
Okay, good. Yeah, I drove by there the other day, and they're moving along. They're starting to get things lined up, so that's going to be a good project. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1150. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1151, in the matter of establishing maintenance bonds for North Star Section 3, Phase A and B.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We have a section of North Star. This work was recently completed, so we are recommending that that work, those streets be placed on a one-year developer maintenance period and establish a maintenance bond for maintenance throughout next year.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1151. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1152, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. We had two pretty typical permits this round. We reviewed the proposed work and are recommending approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1152. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rod.
Resolution number 17-1153, in the matter of appointing members to the Millstone Community Authority Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Communications Manager. This is for the Millstone Community Authority, an authority we were notified last month that we did not have any members on this, and the auditor's office requested essentially that we appoint people right away in order to allow for the smooth continuing of their operations. So essentially, a number of staffers from the office will serve in that capacity at this point in order to ensure the continued operation. We will then do a formal posting and hopefully be able to find community members who are interested. But at this time, we have Cy Keeley for the local government representative, myself, and Jenna Jackson and Sarah DeNovo will serve as the citizen members on this board. And we recommend your approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1153. Mrs. Lewis?
Smile on her face.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1154, in the matter of authorizing the use of Delaware County Commissioner funds to assist in funding the purchase of food, drink, and other amenities for an Employee Appreciation Day event.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is basically just sort of tidying up the bookkeeping on our very popular Employee Appreciation Day event. We did already pay the bills, we just have to complete the accounting on it, so recommend your approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1154. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
Resolution number 17-1155, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile and Probate Court. This is a request to supplement the appropriations for the end of the year for our HR for the treatment court project that we have. We've already received the funds. It's just to support the personnel on the project.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1155. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Karen.
Karen.
Resolution number 17-1156, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriations, a transfer of funds, advance of funds, and a repayment of advance.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Cy Kelly, Assistant County Administrator. The transfer of funds and advance of funds are needed to cover the bond payments that are due December 1st. The repayment in advance is repayment due to the grant ending. I recommend your approval.
Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1156. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
I believe item number 20 is going to be addressed later on our agenda as for a vote, but Mr. Michael Frommer might have some information there before I read the resolution.
Yeah, the item's being pulled from the agenda, but we thought that since a representative for the community authority was here, that we maybe would just, discuss and kind of go over the background and not take any action at this time. Eric, do you agree with that?
You said it was going to be pulled from the agenda. Is it going to be addressed later today, once we have the documentation finalized?
That is correct.
It's just being delayed until later. I just wanted to be clear that it wasn't being pulled from consideration today.
So bad terminology.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Just for discussion on the item, what we have today is a fourth amendment to the amended and restated intergovernmental cooperation agreement between the county and the Asada Concord Community Authority. improvements that were contemplated were Stites Road improvements, intersection improvements in the area. The first financial mechanism that was evaluated and pursued was a residential TIF. There was a lot of discussion with that, a lot of discussion with community partners, township trustees and the like, and it was determined that that was not going to be a viable vehicle for this. Then we worked similar to what we have on the past three improvement projects, the O'Shaughnessy Pump Station and the Clark Shaw improvements. And we looked at structuring something to where we would partner with the community authority. They would be constructing the improvements, and we would be contributing a part to the project for the county portion. And we would be utilizing repayment of those funds through the millage that'll be, the community authority assigned millage to the county of 2 mills. So that's the current proposal. I know, thanking Eric did a lot of work over the weekend looking at this. We were working for a November 1st deadline, which is very, very soon. Eric, I don't know if you have anything to add to that. Wow, I recovered from my pull from the agenda then, so. And I don't know, Trey, if you have anything, or if the commissioners have any questions or anything?
Regular representative of the Community Authority. I'll answer any questions, but I think Mike summed up where we stand today, and we're excited to move forward on the project.
Okay. Yeah, I think where I am is I'm anxious to get the sign-off from Eric, Mike, our auditor, and representative of the engineer's office. So I think we can get that done in the very near term.
Good. Okay, great.
Okay.
Moving ahead with this project will enable us to finally use the, get some flow, or whatever, to our sewer.
Lower Scioto.
Lower Scioto, yeah, that we haven't been able to do yet, so, or limited, I should say. So this will really help our sanitary engineer and us to obtain that revenue from being able to use the
It's really the culmination of Project 1, 2, and 3 is maximizing that particular tributary area, which generates, 1,000-plus lots that will, in a short order based on market condition, of course, but bring those homes online. So I think it's
and open up that corridor.
Absolutely.
For further development beyond those, and get the plant operating, which has been one of my goals for a long
Here's the
time.
caveat, market conditions. Do you foresee next year being a good year?
Based on what we've seen from sales in the area, if you take what's happening on the Price Farms piece, which came through a couple of years ago, Epcon sold 35 of the 60 homes, and they just opened their sales center. We're seeing great activity since Alma Parkway's opened up, so that activity is just going to continue to push in that particular part of the county. A big driver to that is obviously that there's available sewer. As we know, that's one of the biggest costs to get some of those large infrastructure projects done, and then open up a tributary area. And developers, once it's open, generally move to those areas, and the schools in that particular location as well generate more activity. So we see that's going to be from the development community over the next 5 years to 10 years. We really don't see any negative headwinds. If the economy continues to strengthen, we'll obviously see home sales.
No vote now.
Okay. That brings us to item...
Thanks, Trey.
That brings us to item number 21 and our administrator reports.
Good morning, Commissioners. I wanted to report out on one item, then I'm going to invite Chief Schuring to come back for something. There's a meeting tomorrow afternoon at MORPC to discuss the future concept of 23 Smart Corridor for Transit. I thought it might be a good idea for Jenna Jackson to be the point person for the county moving forward. Hopefully you agree with that. So I've asked Jenna to come with me to that meeting and get her introduced to, City of Worthington, and basically get her introduced to that conversation. She knows the people. So I think she'd be a good representative for, this is a concept. It's not like you're going to have automatic buses running around here in a couple of years, but even concepts need to have proper representation, and I think she'd be a good representative for the county.
Good idea.
So with that, I'd like to invite Chief Schuling to talk about some of our EMS people that he invited today.
Morning again, Mike Schuling, EMS. As you're aware, with Commissioner Lewis, I'm on the Stepping Up initiative in the county, recognizing that when we deal in EMS with mental health crisis is something that is very difficult in many terms to deal with. Excuse me. And quite frankly and honestly, one of the least amounts of education and training that paramedics go through how to deal with mental health crisis, because it's so unique in every circumstance. There is a specific type of training that is available. It's unique, and it's the only one available in the United States. It's called crisis intervention training, and creating a crisis intervention team. This helps us understand how to respond to these specific things. In the past, in EMS, it's been put them on the cot and take them to the hospital, which might not necessarily be the right thing to do for them. Getting them to the right place, to the right individuals to help them through this specific crisis and their needs, and recognizing the specific mental illness that these individuals may be dealing with. I've always said that if somebody needs to go to the hospital, they certainly should be going in the back of the ambulance. Well, that is one way of looking at it, but another way is getting them to another area where they're going to get the best help, rather than just clogging up the system where in places they shouldn't be. We were very fortunate to have several of our officers and officers' candidates go through this just incredible training this past week. I have two of them with me here today, but recognizing Captain Jennifer Cochran. She's not able to be here with us this morning. Lieutenant Jennifer Ransom. And we have Lieutenant Dan Given also go through it, but he's teaching another class today, and paramedic Shelley Gannon, who is one of our lieutenant candidates and working through many of the processes of bringing her education up for this. But I laud them for going through this. It's a week-long course, and is an exceptional training and a valuable aspect to not only our department, but the county as a whole.
Boy, I'd just like to congratulate you, Chief Schuling, and it's wonderful, and thank you so much. CIT training is so invaluable, and I know our police, sheriffs, police meaning I know in Delaware and different police departments, Genoa, are CIT trained, but then to have our EMS CIT trained is extremely important. And Chief, too, you've always been great about and very passionate about being a part of the Stepping Up program, because you offer a unique perspective. As I got into this further and further, one of the things that, as you know, we're trying to address is to make sure that everyone is taken care of in every step of the way, and so that there are no gaps, and you're a vital part of that process. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it is very vital.
All right. Thank you for the efforts, and congratulations on completing the course. All right. It's great to have that skill set in our county.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Is that it? Okay.
Congratulations to you.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
I don't have anything except...
Did you watch the game Saturday night?
Happy. Yes. Let's see. It started like kind of when my happiness grew. It was like more like 5:30 on. It was, what a game. Fabulous. I do think it was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah. I had the good fortune of going, so that was certainly the best game I've ever been to. No doubt about it.
You went?
Yeah, I ended up going.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, with my son, and we had great seats, and the energy and the noise and everything was just incredible.
Gee.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Fourth quarter. We could have skipped the first three quarters, just gone right to the fourth.
Oh, my gosh.
So anyways, it was a blast. And the Buckeyes are number 3 in
That's right.
the coach at both polls.
Yeah.
So they should be in the conversation for the championship.
Yes.
It's very early, though.
Maybe we'll get to
Long
play
ways to go.
Oklahoma again.
Wouldn't that be something?
I was going to try to be quiet and quiet. I was going to say something like, when you said 5:30, I said, well, the game didn't start till 8. But you were talking about a different game. That'd be great. I would think that'd be great. If Oklahoma and Ohio State were 2 and 3 and they could play in the first round, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be pretty fun.
So we'll give us something to shoot for. We've got some big games in front of us.
Yeah, so do we.
So do we, right.
So, Jennifer, you going to rename your dog now to Brutus?
I'm outvoted. There's still
It's
two
still
people in
2 to
my
1?
house there. I don't like Sparty.
Right. Sparty had a rough weekend.
Yes, he did. That was not pretty.
All right. Okay. Good. Anything else? More football conversation?
Let's see, shall we go in?
Talk about the Browns? We don't want to talk about
Were there
that.
any emergency calls, though? That's with, oh my gosh, it was just, back and forth. You need EMS there.
Yeah, was EMS extra busy at about 9 o'clock Saturday night?
Yeah. Gee.
All right, Commissioner Merrill.
I don't have very much. Commissioner List and I were at regional planning Thursday evening, and Friday, Commissioner Benton and I were at the legislative meeting, which was also attended by Andy Brenner and Rick Carfagna, who they're regular attendees, and they come on a routine basis to this meeting we have once a month because they have a genuine interest in our county. It's an opportunity for some key people in our county to have opportunity to hear from them what's going on at the state level. So my compliments both to Rick and to Andy.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Okay, just a couple other things. So we've got some legislative fellows, I think is the title, coming from Pakistan and India at 11 o'clock. And we'll be meeting with them. There's 6 of them, and that's always very interesting, to learn and share ideas on government and et cetera, culture, et cetera. So anyway, looking forward to that. Going to a Kroger grand reopening on Wednesday morning, the one in Lewis Center. So they've completely remodeled the interior of their store. It's 125,000 square foot store. It's huge. So congratulations to them for their investment in the community. And that's it for me.
You live close. I have to live there.
Yeah.
They've been remodeling that store for so darn long.
Looks like they're finally done.
It's good to see it finished.
Yeah. That's it. We do have need for executive session.
Have need for executive today. Resolution number 17-1157, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment and compensation of a public employee or public official.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1157. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session.